best day ever. Your reformer has come. All you need is a flathead screwdriver to open the crate. The crate, face up, has these little hooks. You have to put your flathead screwdriver in the hook to unbend it so that it goes up. So if you need to loosen it a little bit from the bottom, then you put your screwdriver in the hole, you turn it halfway. Once you get it halfway like an L, you put the screwdriver from the bottom, and then you turn it so that it's flat, right? I started this one a little bit, first from the top, then go underneath to the bottom, and turn it so that it goes all the way flat. And you go around the whole crate doing that, loosening it up from the top and then the bottom. And then we're gonna pop the lid right off of this baby. All right, so you've gotten all of those little eyelets all bent and they should be straight up to the ceiling. To loosen the top a little bit, I take the screwdriver and I just wedge it a little bit under, just slide it. It comes right underneath, all around, just to loosen it. If you've ever baked a cake, abundant cake, you know that you have to put the knife around the mold to get the cake out so it doesn't break and look like a cat vomit. It's the same thing opening up your table. You slide it, slide it, slide it, and then the top should pop right on up, just like mine is coming up. Yay, there it is. Okay, perfect. I got the top off of my folding reformer, and this is what it looks like. So I carefully take off the plastic, and you'll see that on the top you have your jump board that's been neatly wrapped. One by one you pull the things out and bring them in. You have your sticks, you have your pillows, you have all of your small accoutrements. So one by one, we're gonna open everything up. You can use a scissor, and we're gonna pull this right up and out of our box. If you wanna make it even easier, you can just pry off the little metal with your screwdriver and slide your reformer right out this way. So I think that that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, I got the lid off. I've loosened up the sides. Make sure that the metal points forward so that you can give it a little pull and open up the front. I just have to slide my screwdriver into the side a little bit to loosen it up. We can always throw our Pilates into it, as my daughter would say. Use your Pilates, Mom. There's my Pilates. All right, I got the top off, I got the side off, so you'll see that there's a box on one side and the reformer on the other. I'm carefully gonna slide it out and bring it in. Yay! Okay, I got it up and it has the wheels on it. Once you get it past the bubble paper, we're gonna just wheel it right on in with its handle in here. I tip it and I roll. Okay, I got it off the bubble wrap and I roll it on into the house. And let's see how all the pieces come together. All right, got it through the threshold and I'm rolling. Look at how easy. It's so simple. So we're gonna open up our table, please. It's still the best day ever. You've got your reformer. Here's an easy, simple way to open your reformer. You've got that strap that's on one side. Just use the Velcro on unvelcro it and slide off your strap. Save your strap because you'll use that when you throw it away. So the easiest way to do that is to hold this crosswood piece that's here and the black bar. Make sure that your straps are loose so that they don't get stuck on anything. I like to just lay them down on the floor with a little sticks. So I'm going to bring that table halfway down. I just put my foot against one side. Make sure you have space to open your table on both sides, hold in your stomach, and slide the table out. It has a smoothness to it. So I found that one of the easiest ways to do it is once you have the table, open a little bit. I just stick inside, hold onto the wood, and just slowly let the table open. Hold in your stomach, bend your knees, and gently bring the table down. Okay, our table is open. To move the footboard, you pull on it toward the shoulder rest, and then it moves. It has 6 positions. I pull it, and I swing. You pull it up, and it swings. Pull it up, and it can go all the way down if you want. So we're going to set it up in regular position. Okay, so we got our table open. I've already loaded one side with the riser that holds the foot strap, and I put it into position with one shoulder rest. So when you get the table, it has these 2 holes here. You can put your shoulder rest closer inward or closer outward into whatever hole you pick. So this is what you're gonna have. You're gonna have 2 shoulder rests. You're gonna have 2 wooden sticks that are where the strap go. We call them the risers. You're gonna have 2 gear stops that stop the table from rolling, super easy. 1 little wheel that's gonna get mounted onto the wooden riser. This is the silver horn that we use, the little handle that you hold on to. It's super easy, we're just gonna screw that in. You're gonna have 2 straps. Right, so you're going to have 2 of everything I'm showing you here, except for that. That's 1 strap that goes underneath the foot bar. I'll show you. You have your jump board, your foot pad, your long box with 1 red sticky pad, your wooden stick, and your 2 alignment pillows, your big red and your small one, which I will show you because they're in the other room. So the table is open. Here are the other things that come that I didn't show you are 2 pillows. You have a large alignment pillow and a small one in red. So I've got the shoulder rests. They come with a screw and a little washer. So you unscrew it. I have mine set in the hole inward because I'm a petite person. But if you have a larger person, you're going to put it on the outer hole. Okay, so you just drop it in there. It has a little square hole and a square peg. The screw and the washer go underneath, and then I'm going to use the Allen wrench long side to tighten it. When I get as tight as I can, I'm going to turn it and use the short side to make it tighter. Okay, when I put the shoulder rest in, I put my hand underneath with the washer and the screw so that I can see the hole. I'm using the first hole. Once I've got the screw in there, I re-drop the shoulder rest back into the top and screw it in. Okay, so I've got the shoulder rest put in, both of them. So this little screw here goes into the hole. See how I've screwed that one in already? You just drop it in the hole, make sure it's level, and screw it in. And voila, your little horns, as I like to call them, are in. All right, we got the shoulder rest, the handles on. Now the 2 risers, you're gonna put them on with the numbers facing the shoulder rest and the table. You'll see on the back of the table, there are screws with washers. So when I put it on, it's gonna end up just like this. So I'm gonna unscrew them, and then re-screw them back on. Make sure that the washer stays on the screw once you unscrew it from the table, and then you just place it in, screw it in by hand. And when it doesn't go anymore, we're going to use the large side of the Allen wrench, and then when I can't get it tighter, I use the short side to tighten it all the way in. I got the rise in, it's screwed in nice and sturdy. So now you have 2 of these. You're ready to install this one. That's how it's going to look. The wheelie part that dangles is going to go toward the table. Unscrew the little nubbin. It has 2 washers, no dryers, just 2 washers, like whatever. So 1 washer stays on that side, and the other washer comes on this side, and then you screw this little part in. I have to push it because there's a spring to be able to get it to stick out. If you're having trouble getting that to stick in, it's because underneath here, this little bolt needs to be screwed downward. So I'm just gonna take off the other washer and this little black thing and screw this bolt all the way down toward the eyelet. Because when I went to stick it through, it wasn't sticking out enough. So you have to screw this little bolt away so that you have space. So now there's space. So I'm gonna put back the black part and then the silver part on top. Here's the other silver washer. Now it goes through nice and easy. And now I'm gonna screw in the little black number. Easy peasy. Okay, so I got the second riser in. So there are numbers here. You wanna make sure that you have them both set to the same number. The higher you set them, the easier it is on shoulders, on backs. So you're not feeling 100%, you just unscrew the back enough to slide your wheel in the riser up and down. So you can see this one, I have the part that's right underneath 8. So I'm gonna set this one so that it's the same. If you're ever in doubt, if they're exactly even, you can just rest your stick on there and see that it's level, okay? Just to make sure that you're working with everything to par. Now I have it set, and I'm gonna screw it in nice and firm. So now my risers are set, and I can always change them. All right, the risers are set, the wheels are set, so now I'm gonna load the straps. So I start with the end that does not have the foot loop. I thread it through the little pulley. Pulley is this little wheel. You can call it Susan if you want, but this is called a pulley. It's not a pushy. And then I'm going to take the end of the rope that has no strap on it, and it's going to go through the first little metal arch. These little knobs move, and when you push the rope through, it will lock and hold the rope so it cannot go back the other way. So I'm going to stick it through both of them. So again, I want to have both sides equal. So my first strap, I have it so that this metal loop is right about the height of the little handle horn. So I'm going to set up my other one so that it is the same. And when I have it the same, I'm going to tighten. Okay, I'm going to do that now. And always check again. You can pull your stick and see that when you pull both straps, see this one is a little bit looser. So I'm going to pull it. You can check it with the stick. And if you overshoot it, just pull these little things open and the string comes back. Then I take this strap just to be neat and I'm just going to fold it underneath like that so it's just out of the way. Once I've got the strap in place and I think it's good, always check it with the stick and make sure that the stick is even. So this one here needs to be a little bit less long, so I just pull it, and now there are the same length. So you're going to have 2 of these that come loose, 2 already mounted on the table. So these are for the carriage, so that you can stop it from banging and make sure that they go all the way down. You see that there are different holes here. So let's say that your knee is bothering you or you want to roll the carriage less. You're going to put it here and then the carriage will stop. We call this a stopper. So 2 on each side at the bottom. Make sure that you set them both in the same height. And you have another 2 at the other end of the carriage that were already mounted for you. So this is a stopper that is the same, and so is this. So that when you roll back, you don't bang your head, you don't damage the table, and when you do jumps, this will stop the carriage from rolling. So your stoppers are in. Now to move the bar, stand up, it's easier. You pull the bar and you can bring it down to wherever you want it. You see that there's this little opening here? This is a foot pad that goes here. Then underneath, there are two black giant knobs that you're gonna tighten with your hand to make sure that it's stable and that it doesn't slide. So when you're working, so I pull the bar, that's one height. You have 6 settings here. I'll always tell you what setting you should have your bar. So when you're working, you have this little foot pad here to rest on. But when you're using the jump board, you'll take this off. I'll show you that next. The foot pad has 2 options. When you load it, can you see how the stick that you load to is not centered? If you put it with the long side forward, then you're only going to have access to the very first row of springs. The second row of where you attach the springs make it harder. So if I were to load this yellow on the bottom layer, it's softer. On the top, it's stronger. So you can make this lightest spring, which is the green, even softer by putting it on the bottom step. If you want that same spring a little harder, you can put it on the top step. So if you think you're going to be using the top step, which is fine, when you put your foot pad on, put it so that the long side is back, and now you have access to both steps and can decide what spring you're going to load where. Your pad is on. You have this strap that gets mounted underneath the 2 hooks. It has the little lanyard hooks on them, and it's right here that you just go click and then click. You can make this a little bit longer or shorter. There's an adjustment here and here, and you pull it up when you do long box and short box stuff, planetary and stuff like that. You can always take it off when you put it away, or just leave it if it doesn't bother you. My foot pad is loaded, my strap is loaded, but I want to do jump board. So unscrew the 2 black knobs, take off the foot pad, you have your jump board. It's best if you bring the bar down so that you can load your jump board. Your jump board goes obviously with the padded part toward the table. You drop it into the opening, make sure it goes all the way down, and then you have your 2 bolts unscrewed all the way so it sits totally to the bottom. Once you have that, you'll screw it in, and that should not have any jiggle. Once it's in, pull the foot bar and lock the foot bar behind the highest setting. That's it. It can't go anymore. So that when I jump, there is extra support of the foot bar to protect the table, so you'll be able to have your table last you forever, because it's a great table. So we have 2 rows here to load the springs. The top is a little bit stronger, the bottom is a little bit easier. So each spring has 2 levels. Green is the easiest, yellow is moderate, and red is the hardest. It's a 5-spring system. To load, you just grab it and hook it. There's a little edge here. If you run your finger, there's a little lip. Just make sure that the spring passes the top. Super easy. Just push it all the way down, and then your table is ready for use. Don't forget, you have your wooden stick that we use for a lot of stuff, your 2 pillows, and your sticky pad, and the long box. You just finished class. Good job. All right, so now it's time to close your Pilates table. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take your straps and bring them past the other side of your table so that it doesn't put any stress on the table when you close the table. So I just take the straps and just gently bring them past the table, and I leave a little space, and there they are on the floor. Then I come back to this end If you had your jump board, if you have your platform, you know, you just unscrew those little screws. There's 2 little screws. Leave the screws there, just unscrew it, and they'll stay on as long as you don't screw it all the way. And then this gets put into the long box. I put everything in my long box so that I don't lose it. Then I want you to bring your foot bar all the way down against the table. Before we do that, we're gonna pull off our little stoppers just so that the spring is relaxed and doesn't have any pressure while the table is in storage, you know, so that the springs don't lose their springiness and they stay nice. Okay, so now I've taken my stoppers off. I'm gonna roll the carriage in, and I just quickly hook all my springs onto the bottom step so that when the table is upright, the spring has no pressure, but it stays nice and straight. Super easy, super quick. Okay, so these are gonna go in my long box so that I don't lose them. I put everything in my long box. Then I'm gonna hold my stomach in as always and just bring your bar against your table. This way, it takes up less space and it doesn't drag on the floor. So the easiest way is to stand in the middle, hold in your stomach. I'm gonna grab this piece of wood and this black piece. Remember, when you stand the table up, this is gonna go bang. Don't let that freak you out. So as you close the table, there's a little spring action. So once you close it halfway or so, you'll see, I'm gonna take a little step back. So holding in my stomach, I'm gonna hold the wood and I'm gonna hold the bar, bend the knees and bring the table up. So right about halfway here, right? Hold the table, just step out. I put my foot against there and then pull the table gently closed. It's super, super, super easy. Once the table is totally closed, I'll pick up my straps and I'll just tuck them in behind where the springs go so that they don't drag. And then I will put my strap back on one side so that the Velcro side is up. Just thread it under there beneath the rolling part known as the carriage. And then you're ready to roll your table and put it away wherever you want it to go, right? Super easy. You can just roll it. The wheels are nice. All right. This is Pilates Master Nikki, and I'll see you in class.